What's up, everyone? It's Aaron with Blind Eye Games, and today we're going to be looking at how we can implement a dice roll in Unreal Engine 4. And so, to give you the breakdown, what I'm going to do, I'm going to start from 100% just straight from scratch, and we're going to go into a program called Blender. We're going to actually model the dice, put some textures on it, and just be honest, I'm not that great at modeling, but we'll see what we can do. And once we've got the model, then we're going to take that model, we're going to bring it into Unreal Engine, and we're going to work on the actual dice roll itself. So really what I'm going to try to get through tonight is go from not even having a dice to being able to display the results of a dice roll. So let's jump right in. So I'm going to go into Blender first, and I hope everything goes well. My computer's been having issues the past couple days, so hopefully we'll be okay on that one. So anyway, the first thing that I'm going to do in Blender is we're going to go through and we're going to select all of the edges. Yeah, we got that one too. Cool. And so I like to have a kind of a really smooth edge dice. I don't really like sharp corners. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bevel these edges. And now one thing that I do want to do is I want to have, so you see how these edges that are tipping or that are slanting right here that we're actually beveling, we can change the number of faces that make up that bevel. And so what we want to do is we want to make sure that there isn't a face right in the middle. Because if there's a face right in the middle when I go to, and this is just the way that I've got it all set up, it may be different for someone else who knows what they're doing. But I don't want a face in the middle because I want the materials to, or the image textures to meet. I don't want there to be this gray area where one has to take precedence over the other. I'm not even sure if that makes sense, but whatever. So I'll go with 4 faces between all of them. That should work. Yeah. Yep. So I'm gonna do that. And so yeah, that looks pretty good. I am happy with the way that looks. It's not a crazy amount of poly, so we're not eating up too much memory. Yeah. So this is the part where I have to remember what the heck I'm doing. Is this? Nope, it's definitely materials. So I'm going to go to the cycles render. And so we're going to create a new material, and we will call this face 1. Create a new material. Did that actually? Yeah, face 1. Okay, cool. Create a new one. Why is it just? Hang on. Sorry. 1 second. Okay. Am I just being dumb? Anyway, I don't know, probably. So let's go into face mode. We're going to get in here, and I'm going to select all the faces that I want on this this first face. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze in a second, so everybody just be warned. It's coming. Boom. Okay. I think I got that face covered. Sweet. Alright, so now I'm gonna split this view. I'm going to change this view into the UV image editor. I'm going to come over here and yes, hey, I actually got it right on the first time. Alright, bam. So now we've got the Blender UI. It looks like Unity. Yeah, the Blender UI does kind of resemble Unity. It's weird because now that I've been messing around with 3ds Max, Blender feels very strange, to say the least. So we're gonna do over here, face 1. We've unwrapped this, and so we're going to assign those faces to this material. So now we're going to hit use nodes. We don't want to use color. We want to actually use an image texture. And so you see now you get these options. We're going to open up an image, textures, red seamless 1, I believe is what I want. So that's open. It's kind of weird. You also have to open it in this view to see it, or you may not. There may be another way to do it, and I just don't know. Hello, holy cow. Alright, sweet. Actually, that's pretty much exactly what I want. So here's the first side, and so again, just to make sure we hit assign. And so if we go here now to see the material view, you can see it's interesting. I guess by default, if you don't have anything assigned to it, it goes ahead and just puts it on everything. Hopefully we'll be able to change that in a second. So, alright, yeah. So we've got this face. So we're going to make a new material now. We're going to add it, and we're going to call this one face 2. And so what we need to do now, so I have this dice here that I'm using to kind of, I guess, model my my dice after. So I'm going to kind of stick to the format that they have it. So they have this face next. Let's go to C. And, oop, hold on, I don't want. There we go. Alright, get these. Want that one right there. Cool. That one. That one. That one. Cool. So now we're going to Smart UV project over here. Alright, cool. What we're going to do now, though, we're going to pick a different picture, or a texture. We're going to pick the number 2. And so we'll do the same thing here. Image texture, open. Will you be saving these streams and uploading to YouTube? I'd like to go back and watch them if I'm making. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I've got the thing where they are saving to Twitch, and I'm going to download them and send them, or upload them to YouTube. 100%, 100%. Texture, and just for that record, again, I stress that Blender is my weak point, so there's probably a billion ways to do this, and I'm just not doing it right, or the accepted method, but whatever, it'll be okay. We'll make it through. So we're going to make another face, new, call this one face 3, and so for this particular type of dice, there are 2 faces that are going to be 2s, 2 faces that are going to be 3s, and 1 more face that's going to be a 4. And so as we go, make this another texture, open it again, and it's going to be the same number 2. Now we need to go and A to deselect, C to pull up your, I guess, a circular select. I don't really know what it's called. But you hit C and you get a circle and you can select things. So I'll call it circle select. Make sure you get all your faces. Bam. Alright. Now we will assign. Bam. Alright. So you can see now we've got 1 and we've got 2 sides that say 2. I'm going to reference my dice real quick to see where the 3's are. Alright, so the 3's are on the top and the bottom. So we've got 1, 2, 2. Okay, so we'll go up here now. Let's add our next material. New material. Face 4. 1. And these textures, by the way, are just I just kind of pulled a simple red background. What's it called? Not open source. Public domain red background. I just threw it in Photoshop real quick and just threw a 2 on it. So it's nothing fancy at all. So we'll open texture image number 3. So we'll make sure we have 3 down here as well. Open that image. Sweet. Alright. So now we'll hit A to, oops, nope. There we go. C, bam, bam. Make sure we get all the faces. Hopefully it makes sense now, what I said earlier about making sure that there wasn't a face in the center so that the textures actually butt right up against each other. Sweet. Okay. That works. So now we've got that, we've got the face, that face, that face. Now we hit assign, and bam, there we go. Got the 3. Alright, we're going to do this one more time. Or, I'm sorry, 2 more times. New material, face 5. Do you think you'll be making multiple textures for the dye in your game? In other games, yes, I absolutely will. In this game, however, I'm kind of, so if you watched the last stream, I'm kind of jumping games again. This is for a separate game where really only one dice type is necessary. So for this particular one, yeah, this is the only dice type. So go get another image texture. Open up, which one am I on? Number 3. Yep. And so this is going to be the bottom face. Alright, got that corner. Got that corner. Oh man, I'm spinning the camera all around and getting disoriented. Oh no, I think I got a wrong face. Yep, that's okay. We can get rid of that one. Sweet. And this corner. Cool. Alright. That's right. Sweet. Alright, so let's get right side up again real quick. And so this was the first face I did. And so now you can see we have 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. And so now on the back side, we are going to put the final face, which is the number 4. So face 6.001, image texture, open, oops, there we go, sweet. And then we don't really need to do this at this point, but I'll do it anyway. There's the 4. Go ahead and highlight the appropriate faces one more time. Alright, did I get them all? Yep, got them all. Okay, and then we will assign. Yep, sweet. And to be honest, I'm not too worried about which way the faces are oriented, because you know, I mean, when it when it rolls and bounces and stuff, you know, we're not gonna oh no, I've made a huge mistake. Dang it. Do you guys see the mistake? Can you see it? If you zoom in here, somehow my dumb tail forgot to forgot to UV unwrap when I did these. So the numbers are all jacked up. So if you're gonna use this video for reference later, look back at the first face that I did. You'll see that I highlighted everything and then hit UV unwrap. That's what I should have done on all of them, and I didn't. Let me see real quick if I can just unwrap it after I have applied. I don't know that this will work, but we'll find out. So this is number one, right? Hold on, let me look at this. Are there keyboard shortcuts for adding or removing from the selection? I noticed you made a mistake and removed an extra section you selected. Okay, so what I was doing, when you hit C and this little circle thing pops up, the left click, you hold down left click and drag around, and that will highlight all of the faces that you come into contact with. If you want to remove one, you hold down the middle mouse button, or the mouse wheel button. You push that down and it'll deselect, and if you right click, that will exit the circle select tool altogether. I keep looking here, but I'm talking here. Sorry, my chat box is over here, so that's why I'm, yeah. So the shortcut here, I'll try to call out the shortcuts because that's a good point. For anyone looking to learn, shortcuts are good. So I need to unwrap this. And so if I hit U and then I hit Smart UV Project, oh, it fixed itself. Bam. All right, cool. So I just need to go do that on all the faces that have that. It should only take like 2 seconds. Another keyboard shortcut to toggle highlighting everything and only highlighting some things, hit A. So A deselected everything, and now A will also select everything. So we'll do C. We'll grab these pieces real quick. I'm so glad that worked. Now the dice will actually look kind of decent. Boom, boom, boom. Then U and Smart UV Project. Okay, bam. Alright, we need to do this face. Get all of those. Get all of these. Get all of the. Oh, see, almost messed up. Yep, that's alright. I can do this. Get rid of those. Whew, that was close. Almost messed the whole thing up. Alright, there we go. Let's keep going now. Yep, alright, so U, Smart UV Project. Okay. It's interesting that it's reorienting the things. I don't really know why it's doing that. But we got 2, 4, 2, 1, and 1 more. And then we're done, and we're going to get the heck out of Blender. one more corner. Got it. Smart UV project. Okay. Boom. I think that is actually a pretty cool looking dice. So I'm going to save this real quick. I should have saved a long time ago, but I didn't. Let's call this red dice. Save it as a Blender file. And so now, excuse me. So I'm going to close this because we don't need that window anymore. So now we've got to get this guy out of here. And so what we're going to do is we need to export this as an Fbx file. What is it the UV project does? So essentially what it does is it is taking that mesh of the dice and it is unwrapping it. It's essentially taking a three-dimensional object and it's projecting it. I'm looking at the chat again. It's projecting it as a 2D image, and so it goes into this flat square 2D image. There we go. It projects it onto a flat 2D image, and then it takes, if you have an image, let me find this. So my dice image, right? This is the mesh, and then you have this image over here, and it's essentially placing the image onto the mesh. And so then, whereas this image is flat, and this thing was, a shape, when you put this on top of it, and now you let that shape go back, or let the mesh go back into its normal shape, now the image essentially morphs with it. So the UV project is technically the process of taking the object from this to flat. And the smart part of it is that you can do it manually, or you can let Blender take care of it. And it's something as simple as a cube. Just let Blender take care of it. It's fine. Okay, sweet. I'm glad that made sense. So now we're gonna get this guy out of here. So I'm gonna hit A to select everything. Okay, good. I was just making sure that it didn't also select the lamp and the camera. I could not remember whether it did or not. And so when I export this as an FBX, the mesh is going to come with it, and also these 6 materials over here are going to come with it as well. So we're going to go to File, Export, FBX, and there's a couple of sentences, options that you need to choose to make a Blender file play nice with Unreal Engine. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to check selected objects, because that's really all I want to take out of here. And so then we go to Geometric, and to make it play nice with Unreal, I found that you have to choose Edge Smoothing. I don't know why, but that seems to be what works, so I'm sticking with it. So yep, we'll call that red dice FBX, and it's going to Documents, Blender Files. Okay, cool. Export FBX. Alright, so I'm going to keep Blender up just in case we need to go back and make some kind of explanation or whatnot, but for now, going into Unreal Engine. Alright, so you can see I have a little game mat kind of displayed here. So we've got a deck, a few. These aren't technically cards. These are more of card slots, where as cards are drawn, they will be placed into these slots. But what we're gonna do, we're not really even gonna worry about this this stuff tonight. We'll come back and talk about that on another night. But what I want to do now is get let's see, I'm in the gameplay objects. Okay, that's good. We're going to do an import. And so I'm going to go to, where did I save it? Oh, that's why I'm not looking in my documents. There we go. I called it red dice. Yep, this guy. And so we'll open him. And so we'll just hit import. So now it's importing my dice object. And so you can see that when it came into Unreal, there's my actual dice object, and then these materials came in with it. These materials we don't necessarily need. They're just white generic materials. And so if we open up the red dice, bam, you see here we've got the dice that we created, and then we've got over here, we've got the material slots. And so what we're going to do is we need to fill those material slots. So we'll go back here, and we need to do some more imports, because we need to actually get the textures that are going to essentially wrap our dice. And so I'll select them all, we'll import, bam. So now if I grab my red dice guy, and we've got this, and so let me go ahead and save all real quick. Alright, so you can see these material slots over here again. And so we will just drag this guy in here. Oops, sorry, I forgot. I'm trying to drag a texture onto a material. What I need to do is right click on this and do create material. And so this will be the number 1 face. Alright, and so that will create that material. And so we're going to do the same thing for all three of these. Create material. This is going to be the number 2 face. And we don't need to make 6 materials out of this. All we need to do is make one material for just each face, because we can apply multiple, or one material to we can apply one of our created materials to multiple material slots. And I see a question in the chat. Let me look at that real quick. It almost seems like you know what you're doing. Almost. What was your biggest resource while learning? So to get me started in Unreal Engine, I used I got a course from udemy.com. They always have sales up there. You can get anything you want for like 10 to 20 bucks, any kind of course anyway. And so I did that to get my feet wet, and kind of use that to get used to the UI of Unreal, kind of get an idea of what Unreal could do. But honestly, after that, it was really just about having a game plan of what I wanted to do, and then doing very specific Google searches on how to do it. And so, yeah, it's going to sound kind of dumb or cheesy or whatnot, but honestly, my biggest resource is just Google. I don't really know anyone who works. My phone just turned on because I said Google. I don't really know anyone that works in Unreal, so I don't really have anyone to ask. But Unreal does have a great answer hub with a great community that's constantly, you know, keeping up with their stuff and the questions from the community and whatnot. So it's really good to get be a part of that. Other than that, you know, that's really it. Sounds like the best thing to do is have a specific goal in mind. Yeah, absolutely, man. Like, just having your general idea, but then definitely being able to break up that idea into, just like you said, extremely specific goals, and then figuring out how to accomplish that specific goal. For example, something that we're going to look at here, you know, at some point we need to make the dice move, right? And so, you know, if you type in how to make a dice move in Unreal Engine. You know, you'll get a ton of hits and it'll all be convoluted. It'll have like a ton of things. When you really break it down, to make a dice move, you need to add a force, right? Whether it's gravity, whether it's a kind of like an impulse to make it shoot up or whatever, which is what we're gonna do. You got to do something like that. So asking how do I apply a force to an object is way better question to ask than, you know, how do I make a dice roll. So yeah, yep, hopefully that helped. So we're gonna take number one material, we're gonna drag it in. You can see the outline is green now, whereas before it was red. So we got a green letting us know that we can do it. And so the next two faces are going to be 2s, and then the next two faces are going to be 3s. Excuse me. And the final face is going to be a 4. Oh, sorry, I got to Blender and Unreal control differently, and now I got to get used to how they control again. And so you can see if you look really close on that seam that the textures don't quite match as seamlessly as, you know, I wanted to, but you're never going to see the dice closer than about right there anyway, so from there you can't tell. It's not a big deal. Anyway, so we will save this. So now anytime we drag this dice in, it is going to look like that. And just to show that, drag a dice in here, bam, there it is. We can zoom all around it. Bam. Looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. So I'll get rid of this guy because we don't need him. And I'm going to save all real quick. Sweet. Alright, so now, let me think for a second. So I have this guy that I made last night? Some night, I don't remember. But it is a dice box. And so it looks like just a plane, right? But I actually have a lot of things hidden here. Where's my... Okay, so the bottom I've named cube, right? And so static mesh, if we scroll down and we check visible, you can see there actually is a ceiling, and you know, if we did the same to all of these, anyway, you would see this box begin to build. But this is actually all I want to show right here, is this guy. And so essentially what's going to happen is these dice are going to go inside of this box, and I'm going to kind of let this object control the dice. So let's see. Here's what I'm going to do. What do I want to do? Alright, first of all, let's get a box out here so that we can actually see it, right? So we'll put a box out here. Again, it looks like a flat wall, or a flat floor, but we know that there are walls and a roof on this thing. And so we have a dice. Wow, that's huge. Let's see. What do I want to do? So real quick, actually, let's do this. I want to make a blueprint for the dice. I don't want the dice to just be mesh. I want the or a static mesh out here. I want the dice to actually have functionality, right? So I'll call it the dice BP. And we'll save it. And we're going to open the dice BP up. And so we don't really need a default scene root for this. We just need a static mesh. So we'll add it, and then we will make the mesh the default guy. And so we'll come here, and we'll call this, we'll just call it simply dice. And we'll go over here, type dice, we'll choose red dice for it. Woo! That's way big. So we'll take the scale down to like 0.5. 0.5. Cool. So we've got that. Let's see how that looks when we drag it out there. It could still be smaller. Let's go back. Let's try like a 0.2 maybe. Oops. Compile, save. Go back to the scene. Let's drag one out now. There we go. That's looking closer to what I want. Because when we actually look at this, we're gonna actually be looking from this camera, and I'll set this camera up in a second. But we're gonna be looking from this camera straight down. Whoa, my bad. That was not supposed to happen. We'll be looking straight down on it. Again, I'm getting my inputs mixed up, thinking Blender and stuff. So yeah, that'll work. And so, you know, I'm not going to put the dice out here first, because in this game you won't always be using a set number of dice. The number of dice will spawn based on things that happen in the game. So we'll leave them out for now. And what we'll do, just to get this dice roll to work, we will, what am I looking for? Dice box. We will come here and we'll select this little floor, right? And we'll go down here to the events. And so essentially events are exactly what they sound like. They are events that can happen to this guy during the gameplay. And so I want to get the event on input touch begin. So if we hit the plus sign and we go to the event graph, we see that it has created an on input touch begin cube. And the cube is just referencing this piece of the thing. And so to quickly display how this works, we'll just have it display something. We'll have Unreal just say, I'm a cube, when we touch it. So we'll go back to it. So when we hit play, oops, it's kind of convoluted, but you can see right here, if we touch this, oh, I totally forgot to set something up. What am I looking for? Project settings. Since this is going to be a mobile game, I need, for the purposes of testing, I need the mouse to act like a touch. Oh, here we go. Input. Where is it? Use mouse for touch. Here we go. So I'm going to check that box, and then we can close that. Project settings save automatically. Okay. So save all. Hit play. See if it works now. Oh no! Oh, you know what? I bet those invisible walls are blocking me. What's up, Eben Fall? How's it going? Thanks for joining us. So let's go back into this dice box guy. We need to make sure that all of these guys, there's a setting and I need to remember which one it is. We need to adjust the came from the Haven. Hope stream's going. Oh snap! From the Haven. Yeah, it's going great. It's going great. Just we're looking at implementing a dice roll and how to do that. So we don't want no collision on these guys, because we do want if the dice because the whole point of this box, right, is to contain the dice. So when the dice fly all over the place, we don't want this wall to ignore collisions. We want the dice to be able to hit it and then come back, right? So we need it to ignore only the pawn, I think. I'm trying to remember which one it is. I'm pretty sure that's it, because I think that's what it's saying. What that's saying is the pawn essentially is us. And so what it's saying is when we click on things, we're going to ignore it. Like, we're going to let that click go through. So we're going to change all of these to ignore only pawn. Was excited to see someone streaming some game dev. Are you making this for something specific? Yeah, like I actually really love streaming the development process. I think it's something that not enough people do, which is understandable, right? Because you don't necessarily want people to know exactly how your game is made. But you know what? Like, stuff like this, how to make a dice roll, it's so generic it could go into anything. But am I making something specific? Yes. So this game is going to be a game called Monster Mercenary, and without giving too much away at the moment, you are a mercenary, and you are tasked with hunting down monsters. You face off against, for the moment, it's just going to be an AI, because admittedly, I am not super knowledgeable about working over a network and playing with other people online. That's something that I still need to look into and grow in that area. So right now, it is going to be against an AI, but you guys will compete. Monsters will show up from a deck, and you guys will compete to essentially take out the monsters. And what you want to do is you want to rack up. I haven't decided on what I'm going to call it yet, but essentially you're accruing points for every monster that you take out. And by the end of the game will end once all of the for now I'm just kind of calling them legendary monsters are taken out. But the game will end when both legendary monsters in the deck are taken out, and then you will total up how many points you've gained from killing those monsters. Essentially, it's a pretty simple concept, but I just kind of wanted something there. I have some other projects that I'm working on too, but they're a little bit more involved. And so what I wanted to do was just basically work on a simpler project that I can just go ahead and get out there. Uh, just to kind of feel like, I'm actually doing something. I'm actually being productive and making stuff happen. Uh, but great question though, and please, like, any questions you have, I'm right here watching the chat. So yeah, definitely hit me up with any questions, and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. All right, so we are ignoring only pawn on all these guys. Fingers crossed. Let's see if it works. No, it's not working. Why? Why isn't it working? Let me see. All right. Let me make sure I'm not doing something stupid, because this is a really a really simple thing. Block all dynamic. Ignore only pawn. Maybe let me do something real quick. Let me rotate this guy so that I can ensure that I'm actually hitting this bottom piece, and I'll test that, and that'll let me know if what I'm trying to do is even working. Okay, there we go. So yeah, we got that printout. I'm a cube. So yeah, what's wrong here is that I have simply just picked the wrong setting, and I just need to remember which one it is. That's awesome. I love that concept. Thank you. Thank you. Heck yeah, trying to get out a small project. And do you do this for your job? One day. One day this will be my job. That's the goal anyway. But no, right now I actually I work in modeling and simulation. I'm not gonna say who it's for, because I don't technically know if I should say. Joint Senses, help me out if you know. I think I'm probably good to say it, but just in case, I'm gonna hold off. But I do modeling and simulation. We build different software, different simulation packages and stuff like that. NDA life, heck yeah. What do you do, Ebb and Fall? All right, so let's go back here. Let's try some different options here. It's not ignore only pawn, but it has something to do with the pawn, I think. So block all dynamic is that crap. What is it? I think it's. Let's try this overlap only pawn. Let's try that. This is great. I can't remember the settings. If it gets too bad, I'll pop open my other project and take a peek at it. Because I have done one of these before. Nope, not that one either. Alright. What the heck? Which one is it? Collision presets. Pawn object can be used. Capsule. Oh wait, is it invisible wall? Maybe that's it. Hold on. That would kind of make sense actually. Invisible wall. Let's try this again. Hey! Word. Alright. So we found it. Oh snap! I'm falling behind in the chat. Let's see. Oh, nice. You're in game dev too. What kind of games do you make? Oh, Nether. Nice. No freaking way. That's dope. So, have you worked on the Mortal Kombat games? I'm gonna freak out if an artist for what? You are my new favorite person in the whole world. Are you kidding me? That's dope. I'm so like jealous in the best way. So have you? So I know MK was built in Unreal. Do you get to mess around with Unreal much at all, or are you like purely on the art side? So jumping back into this, we will just kind of move this up here so that we can get that away from everything else that we're making. So let's do this, right? So we know that this now works and that I'm not absolutely crazy. So first, let's work on spawning some actors, some dice actors. A lot of what I'll do in Unreal is implementation, so I don't do a whole lot in there. I'm an animator, so I spend most of my time in my dude. That is dope. I'm not gonna lie, like I'm kind of geeking that I'm talking to you like someone that helped make Mortal Kombat. That's freaking dope. Hire me! I'm just kidding. I'm trash. Alright, so we're going to what are we gonna do? We're gonna spawn an actor. We're gonna do it by spawn actor from class. And so the class that we're gonna spawn is dice. Oh no, there are 2 dice BPs. Why do I have 2 dice BPs in here? Hold on, let me investigate. Dice BP. Alright, cool. I do not want that one anymore. Let me get that guy out of here. Actually, hold on. Okay. I'm just gonna rename him. That should take care of that. I'm pretty sure that when you update the name of something, I'm pretty sure Unreal takes care of renaming it everywhere that it was used. So that's definitely a bonus. Definitely knows contract was appreciate it. I love to do what I can to help you break into game dev, though I know it's rough. Man, I definitely appreciate that. Yeah, it's always hard because just like a small snippet about me. I have a wife and 2 kids, and so game dev is it's risky, which I'm sure you know. It's risky. You either make it or you struggle. I feel like I'm not exactly speaking from experience at all, but I feel like from what I've heard, it's like you're on the struggle bus until you're not. You know what I mean? And so at the moment, I can't afford to just kind of uproot and switch careers like that. But one day, the plan is to start my own studio and kind of go that route. But we'll see. You never know what the future has. So okay, when you spawn an actor, one thing that it does require you to have, and so you see these little nodes over here. These are things you can plug in. One thing that you do have to have when you spawn an actor is you have to have a transform. And so what I'm going to do is if we come over here and we type make transform, and join senses, I know you were asking about shortcuts and what keys I was pressing for later. So when you're just in this blueprint scene, when you right click, you get this box and you just start typing. Have you ever been to GDC? No, I have always wanted to go. When I was trying to break into the industry, that was and still is a crazy good resource. One day I'm gonna get there. One day I've always wanted to go to that for sure. So we will get the cube. So I'm going to get a reference to the cube real quick because I need to set the dice's location where it's going to pop up at. So if we get cube and then we say get world location, we'll come here and we'll do that. So essentially, actually, hold on, timeout. I don't actually want to do specifically that. What I want to do first, because if we just straight up set this location, the dice is going to end up right in the middle of that cube, and so we don't want that because we don't want things to freak out. So we want to kind of make sure that the dice comes up above the floor, and if we need to, we'll just let it kind of drop into it. So we got the world location here, right? And so what I want to do now is I want to break that vector up. Okay, so we'll disconnect this here because we don't need that link at the moment. And so we will take the, we'll do a right click and we'll say make a vector, right? And so this vector is fine if we keep the same x and the y from the floor, but we do want to change the z value, right? So we will do, I'll do a plus sign. And so you see we get float plus float. That's what we want to do. So what this is going to do is going to take the z value from the floor, and I'm going to add a number to it. I'm just going to add, I think 50 should do it. That may be a bit overkill, but we'll find out in 1 second. And so now to kind of walk you through this fairly simple chain, what's going to happen is when I touch the cube, it's going to spawn a dice actor, right? And where it's going to spawn it at is according to this transform. And when we look at the transform, if we kind of work backwards, right? This location So first of all, it's rotation and scale. Or I'm just leaving that as default. That's fine, unless we play it and we see that no, that's not fine. We need to fix it. But we're giving this transform a location from a vector, and the vector is coming from the world location of the cube, which is the floor of our dice box. And so we are essentially keeping the x and the y the same, boosting up the z. Alright, so now if we go in, if all things work, when I touch this, oh yes, yep, that is from where I changed the name of the dice. I know exactly what that is. So when we click this, bam, whoa, that's a giant dice. Okay. Yes, if you want to go, it's so worth it, especially if you're looking to get into game devs too. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. So we are going to need to adjust that dice a little bit. So we'll go back. Let me close some of these because I do not need all of them out here right now. I'll leave that open. That's fine. Don't need that. Okay. Go back to the dice box. So we have the scale. Let's put the scale at 0.2 for all this stuff. Alright, let's see how that goes. I'll hit play, and bam, there we go. That's more what I was looking for. And so, real quick, let's go back to this dice BP, and let's make sure that gravity is enabled. We also need to even enable gravity, we have to simulate physics, right? So we'll do that, and just to show you what that looks like, we will let's make this dice spawn even higher. We'll make it set at z value plus 100. So we'll hit play, and there we go. So now we have a very, very simple dice dropping from this guy, right? So what we want to do now, so when the game is actually going, when we actually get the full implementation going, I won't be triggering this from the input touch begin thing. That's not going to happen. But what I will do is have it, there will be an event that we'll call this event, and at that point it'll look at some variable to say how many dice should I spawn, right? And so it'll do that, it'll spawn the dice, and then we'll get to what we're going to do next. And so just to keep this kind of simple, I'm literally just going to copy these, paste them again, or not paste them again, but paste them in general. And so we'll do that. Spawning dice BP. Actually, I will offset this one a little bit so that they don't pop up on top of each other. So we'll take the Y value, and we'll just add 50 to that. Right, and then we'll reattach here to the Y. Kind of drag down a little bit. Cool. Alright, so we should have 2 dice pop up now. Boom, cool. We got 2 dice. Sweet. Need to catch up on the chat. Oh man, don't learn from me. Don't learn from me, dude. Dude, that's the truest statement. Most programmers don't understand their own stuff. Gosh. Yeah, that's very true. Alright, so we're at the point now where we are spawning 2 dice. What we're going to do now is we're just going to make a little bit of a delay just to make it look good. Do a 1-second delay, and then we are going to, and I have to remember how to do this myself, apply a force. Nope, hold on. The word force is in it somewhere, I think. Add force. There we go. Alright, cool. That's what I wanted. Alright, so we'll come back to this dice. Whoa, whoa. Alright. And we'll say add force. Add force to that dice. Sweet. Alright, and this force, let's see. I kind of want to make this random. So let's do this. We'll do random float. Random float in range, right? So we'll say, I don't know exactly how hard or how these units are. We'll do 0 to 1,000. And so I'm actually just going to copy this and paste it 3 times. Rearrange this. And then we're going to make a vector. And so we're going to attach these guys. So now we've got a randomized vector that it's going to apply a force to our first dice after 1 second. Make it 2 to make sure we give it enough time to get there on the floor. And let's see if that works. Play. Anything? Nope. Okay. I'm forgetting something. True forces taken as change in acceleration. I don't think that's it, but let's try it. Can't believe I don't remember how to make this work. Nope. I'm gonna cheat and go here and look at this. Where is it? Where is it? Where did I do this at? Give visibility. That's not what I want. Random float. Oh, that's right. That's right. It's an impulse, not a. It's an impulse, not a force. That's what I was doing wrong. So we're gonna add impulse. I would like to. I need to look into that more because I would like to know what the difference between. Like, I mean, I know what it is, what the difference is in like strictly physics terms, but I don't quite understand what it's doing in terms of this engine. So I do need to look into that more. Wow, that was super weak. I don't even know if you guys are going to be able to see it, but it barely moved. So we're going to do that. Do you also stream? Do my friend and I join stream together? Gotcha. Heck yeah, we're gonna have to come jump on your stream sometime, hang out. Do you have a normal like schedule that you stream on, or is it just kind of whenever? So I'm gonna crank these values. Let's go 20,000 to 100,000. 20,000 to 100,000. This may be a big mistake. We'll find out. Some of my favorite things in development are when absolutely bonkers things happen. Bonkers things happen. That sounds weird. I don't think I'm saying that right. Whatever. Boom. Boom. There we go. Okay, sweet. That's what I was looking for. Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturday after 7. Sometimes squeeze in a Friday or Sunday stream. Heck yeah. Alright. Definitely we're gonna I'm for sure gonna start hanging out and checking you guys out. Do you play games or do you do more technical arts stuff? Sorry if you said that already. I just didn't see it. Boom. So we got that one. So I can get rid of this add force thing. I was going to add a torque to it, but that actually looked pretty random, the way it just kind of flung off. And yeah, so I think that'll be fine. I'm going to move this closer to us so that we can see it. There we go. See if that's a little bit better. What the heck am I doing? Sweet. Alright, cool. So we'll go back here, and that's cool. So now we'll also take this dice, we'll add impulse. Yep, cool. And I don't want to use the same guys to give them the same number, so we'll get a different one. Cool, cool, cool. Alright, let's see what happens. Bam. Alright, sweet. So we are almost there. Int random return. That's funny. So with the dice, are you applying a random amount of force in random directions? Yes. 100%. So there's let me go back to it real quick. Excuse me. So when we go down here, right? So this is the oops, I never connected that thing. There we go. So when we are adding an impulse, it says the target, we're adding it to the dice, right? And so this impulse comes in the form of a vector. So to your point, in random directions, yes, we've got the X, the Y, and the Z. And I made them all positive. Technically, the only one that should probably be positive is the Z, because we do want the dice to initially go up, right? We don't want to shoot it down. I've seen weird things happen where if you shoot something in the engine hard enough with enough force at another object, that sucker will punch right through and just keep going. But yeah, basically we're saying this function right here, this function gives us a random float in this range, and then we're applying it and grabbing that vector. We play games together. We do Sims 4 Saturdays, other stuff like Diablo 3 or Stardew during the weeks. That'd be fun to watch Sims. I just did a Zoo Tycoon stream about a week ago. That was pretty fun. We had animals dying all over the place. It was a mess. Can the min on X and Y be negative? Yes, it can be negative. As a matter of fact, let me 100,000. So cool. So now we've got a range of negative 100,000 to positive 100,000, and I am going to keep that positive just so that we make absolute sure that that sucker doesn't shoot right through the bottom. Heck yeah, Zoo Tycoon is fun, right? Rip Zebra number 1. Zebra number 1 will always dude. Blake made me weak when he was when Zebra 1 died, and he was like, yo, pour one out for Zebra 1. Oh, it was so funny. Yeah, right at the end of the stream, I was literally about to turn it off, and I get a notification at the top of the Zoo Tycoon screen. It's like, Zebra number 1 has died, and that was my first animal. It was bad. I'm trying to get it set up so we can do Sims 4 during the week. We have a lot of fun doing builds. That's awesome. Heck yeah, I'd love to watch some Sims 4 go down. Yeah, awesome. Sweet. So yeah, thank you for the suggestion. What's up, Shakama? How's it going? Welcome to the stream. We are implementing a dice roll. We're just about there, actually. We just finished adding an impulse force to the dice. But now what we need to do is find a way to basically tell us which side is facing up. And we can do that. We can do that. It's going to get a little bit complicated, but no, I'm not even going to say that. It's not going to get complicated. We're just going to have to do a couple things that when you just roll a normal dice, you know, you don't really have to think about things like that. What's up, Dubstep, Imhotep? What's good? Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to add some components to this dice, and I'm going to use spheres. And so what I'm going to do, we're going to drag these spheres, I hate that word, spheres. We're going to drag some spheres up. And so we're gonna basically put a sphere. I'm gonna call them circles because I hate that word. No, I'm just kidding. But we're gonna put spheres above each face of the die. And so I'm actually gonna bring this one in front of face 1. So then we'll add another component. Got sphere number 1. We'll take this one. Let's see. I believe that this side is number 2 as well. Yep. So we'll take this one this way. Took a little bit too far. Kind of want to have them uniform. Let me see if I can just copy and paste these guys. Yep. Call this one sphere 2. Pull him this way. And so if you're looking at me like, what the heck is going on? Basically what we're going to do, we're going to surround this cube with spheres, and we're going to turn those spheres invisible. And what's going to happen is after the dice roll, on each of the dice, we're going to look at all of the spheres, and we're going to figure out which sphere has the highest Z value. Like in terms of location, we're going to look at the location, figure out the highest Z value. And that will tell us which face is pointing up. So we'll do a couple more spheres. Oh no, you were not supposed to be a child of him. Get out of it. Nope. Attach. Yep, there we go. Cool. Where'd that guy go? You get over here. There. Is that right? Yep, that's right. Alright, so we've got... Actually, that was the 4 face. I don't want him there yet. Try to keep some reason to the madness. Or logic to the madness, anyway. Throw the spear down there. Bam. No, come on down. There we go. Boom, boom. And add one more. I think that'll do it. Yup. Word. Alright, so now we've got all these spheres going on. So let's see. The easiest way to do this is, so we're going to have to iterate through these spheres, right? So it's going to be easier if we actually have these guys in an array. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the event. Well, first, let's come down here to the variables. We're going to add a variable, and it's going to be, we'll just call this sphere array. So we're going to change this. Its type is going to be, I think it's just going to be static mesh, honestly. Yep. So we're just going to do static mesh, and we're going to turn this guy into an array. So now we have an array of type static mesh. I don't think you missed too much, Evanfall. Basically what we're doing is we have put spheres around this cube, and what we're going to do is when it rolls, we're going to figure out which of these spheres has the highest location Z value, and that high value will give us the face that's pointing up. And so now we are putting these spheres into an array. So let's drag this guy out here. We've got the array here. And so on event begin play, and actually let's go ahead and do this too. Let's get all the spheres out here. I'm going to use join, since I know you're asking about shortcuts. if you hold Control and drag out, that essentially does a get. So Control drag out sphere 3 is get sphere 3, and so now we have references to these guys out here. And so now we'll drag off of this array, we'll hit add, right? And essentially we're going to have excuse me, we're going to have 6 of these guys. And it's pretty cool. Like as you come in and connect these, it automatically changes these add functions to let you know specifically kind of what they are, right? So this blue, you see the matching blue. So as we connect them, they kind of let us know, at least a little bit, you know, give us an idea of what we are connecting to them. So we'll make sure that we need 2 more adds because we have 6 spheres. And I could make a loop for these, and honestly when I get down to it I probably will. Whoops, what did I do wrong? Static mesh component object reference is not compatible. Hold on, let me see if this does the same thing. I must have made my array the wrong type. Let's see. Static mesh. Oh, that's right. This is a static mesh component, and so the difference being, a static mesh is kind of a standalone object, but a static mesh component is a static mesh that is converting things for me. Sweet, cool. Oh poop. That's right. Break link. But anyway, so these guys are components of this blueprint, and so basically we have to be more specific about it, really, though. Our static meshes are components, not just objects. So yeah, see, now it wants us to change all of these again. Oops. So if we just break all, why didn't you break all output? No. Okay, that's fine. Yep. Okay, we're just gonna have to break these real quick. Boom, 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 and boom. Cool. So now we should be good. Yep, and this should go in there with no problem. Sweet. Okay. So we are adding all of these spheres to our sphere array. It's a little bit tedious, but that's okay. It's worth it in the end. Alright, and so now we're just going to chain all these together so that as soon as one gets added, the next gets added, and the next, and the next, and the next, and so on until we've got all of them. And we're going to drag, this off of the event called event begin play. And so essentially what that means is, as soon as this dice is created in the game, this event is going to fire. And so as soon as the dice is created, we want to add all of these spheres to an array, to this array. All right, and that's going to happen for all of the dice, right? Only person I know here is Blind Eye Games. Is it me or does he have black swag? What? I don't even know what that means. That's funny. Of all the times I wish Blake was in the chat, that'd be great. Oh man. So dude, you guys are great. I love you guys. So we got those. We add that in. Cool. So we've got an array. It's now filled with all of our spheres. So that's cool. That's cool because now, heck yeah, he's having fun in Japan without us, man. That's some trash. I hope he watches this when he gets back too and hears me calling him out. But so that's cool. That's set up. Now, what we need to happen is let's go back to, let's save this first. Go back to the dice box BP. And so, alright, so we create these objects, or the dice. What's happening? Why can't I do anything? Oh man, I think that's my computer freaking out again. Hold on. There we go. Okay. My bad, guys. That was on my end. Sorry about that. Who dat? Talking about Blake. It's one of our friends from work. He's a cool cat. He's a cool cat. But we're gonna add impulse and then okay. So when this happens, all right. So we're gonna get a little crazy here, a little crazy. We are going to we're gonna use this event tick function, and so essentially what event tick is it's an update function, right? It fires every frame, okay? And so what we want to do is as soon as these dice start rolling, we need to be able to check for when they stop so that we can look at the spheres to see what face value the dice landed on. And so what we're going to do, we're going to create a Boolean variable. We're going to say dice have stopped, right? And we are first, let's compile so we can get it. We are going to set that to false initially. Do we? Yes, we do. We do. We do. So we're gonna drag off of event tick, and so it's interesting in Boolean for go or stop. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what that means. Boolean for go or oh yes, as in like you're talking about using a Boolean to determine whether we should go forward with the function or stop. If that's what you're saying, yes, 100%. That's exactly what we're going to do. So it's interesting in Unreal, in normal development languages, if you want to do an if statement, it's if, right? In Unreal, it is called branch. Don't know why. I mean, I get it. It makes sense. I don't understand why they broke from the standard if, you know. Scared me for a second, sorry. No, have no fear, no fear. Alright, so if dice have stopped, we'll do something off of true. If dice have stopped is false, we're not going to do anything, right? So, or am I thinking about this backwards? Hold on. Let me get my head around this. So we're going here, input touch begin, boom. Oh, that's right. Okay, sorry. I am totally messing this up. It's not what I wanted to do at all. So real quick, we're going to also make an array, we'll call this dice array. So we need to have references to all of the dice. So we'll come up here, we'll change this to, this needs to be, we can get specific with this one. This is going to be a dice BP object reference. I'm going to change the type to array. Do I have water? Nope, no water. We're going to tough it out. And so what we will do is when these guys are spawned, before I give them an impulse, we're actually going to add each of these dice to the array, right? So we've got add drag that dice up there. We'll reconnect this. We'll also do the same thing for this guy. And my blueprint is a little messy at the moment. Of course I'll clean it up later, but I'm just trying to get through it to the point of what I said I was going to get through tonight. So the mesh means nothing to the engine. The spheres assign a value to each face, and the Boolean will determine if the dice have stopped. And then you're going to then ask which sphere is at the highest y-axis. Yes, exactly. Except z-axis, right? Like in Unreal, I know like every engine does it differently. Unity's different. X is that way, Y is this way, Z is that way in Unreal. But yes, 100%. The sphere meshes are gonna mean absolutely nothing other than being able to check their location. That's really all we're gonna do with it. But yeah, 100%. So the dice respond, they are added to the array, and so then what we're going to do is we're going to come off of this guy, and well, first let me get another reference to the array, and we're going to do a for each loop, and we're going to do with a break. So let's see. If I think there's a way, I think there's a way that we can do like a is moving. I think Unreal has no, that's not it. No, those are for AI. I'm going to cheat again and go back and look at my old file, just because I don't want to waste you guys' time looking at a whole bunch of like research and figuring out how to do jump. Sets location, collects dice or not. Here we go. Alright, so it enables the tick to where is my tick function at? There's begin play. Where are you? I know you're here. Here we go. Alright. So yep. Ah, that's right. That's right. I was using velocity. Alright. So we'll do this and we will say get component velocity. Cool. So what this is doing, it's getting the dice's root component, which if we look at our dice, the root component is the dice static mesh itself. So here's the great YouTube. And so we get the velocity, and we will say if let's see, this equals 0, 0, 0. Yep. Yeah. So here's what's happening. Event tick. Oh, that okay. It slow moment. It just hit me what I should have been doing a second ago. Big old brain fart. So we have a Boolean called is rolling, right? And so we're gonna have it set to false initially. And so where we will set it true is right after these impulses happen, we're gonna set is rolling to true, to basically say, boom, our dice are now rolling, right? And so the reason that we're going to do that is because we come back to our tick function, and there's no need to waste all this processing power if we don't need to, so we'll just have it check a boolean right in the beginning, and it is going to be is rolling, right? So if rolling is true, then we need to be checking to see if all the dice have stopped. And let me catch up on the chat real quick. I don't think there are any bots here for commands. Since you know he's not there, he knows what he's doing. Oh, I'm actually like very new to Twitch, to tell you the truth. I actually just hit affiliate like a month ago. And if I know what I'm doing in Unreal 4 is debatable. But yeah, so alright, so we're checking, is it rolling? If it's true, boom, we'll do the stuff. If it's false, we don't do anything. So for each loop, if that is 0, true, and yeah, true is fine, we won't do anything. If false, however, so if the component velocity is not 0, then we will go ahead and break out of this loop, because we don't need to continue it anymore, because if even one of the dice is still moving, it doesn't matter, you know. So basically, if this thing completes, let me test this real quick. I'm just gonna do we're gonna do a print text, and it's just gonna say all dice have stopped. So if I did this right, let me do one more thing real quick. We'll go ahead and set this back to false. If I did this right, we'll click it, the dice will roll, and when they stop, this text will print on the screen. Excuse me. Good gracious. Alright. Cool. Cool. Tight. Hit play. Bam. Crap, I forgot to okay, so hold on. Dang it. I forgot to make all of these spheres invisible and have no collision. Alright, so we're not going to simulate physics on them. We're not going to have any collision on them, and they're going to be hidden in game. Alright, and then let me come back here and check something real quick. You can find that. Oh snap! Thanks for the plug, dude. Appreciate it. I don't know how you keep up with all this visual connectors. Oh, I can't even imagine trying to understand how someone else's project works. Yeah, it gets a little messy. You can do comments, and I should be commenting. But if like you do this, whoa, easy killer. If you do that and then hit C, you can put a comment over it. It's pretty cool. And I should be doing this. I'm not right now though. I'll go back and do it later. So 2 seconds, add impulse, is rolling is true. Alright, let's try that. Play. Bam. Alright, so hold on. Let me do one thing. Let me So it's immediately adding an impulse and then simultaneously setting this. And so it's actually running this update function before this impulse even has a chance to hit. So I'm just going to add a really short delay in there to give it time. 0.2 seconds is actually probably perfectly fine. So let's try that. Bam. No. Why? Okay. So my logic is incorrect somewhere. Alright. So I'm fairly certain that this is fine, right? Impulse takes off. Let me look at it one more time, just to make sure that I see what's happening. It takes off, and then it says all dice have stopped. Alright, so that's not right. Which means we're getting here. And so if is rolling is true, we're coming here. And then we're looping the body. And I wonder if when break is firing, if break fires, completed also fires. I bet that's what's happening. Okay, so we're gonna need another boolean here. Another boolean here. So we will have. Actually, we can just use dice have stopped again. Or actually, we didn't use it at all the first time. Cool. All right, so set all dice have stopped. So let's go down here as well, to where we first set is rolling as true, and we'll just make sure that dice have stopped is false. I know we set it to be false by default, just to make sure. We'll just make sure. So we have this coming in. So okay, here we go. If that's true, if it is 0, we'll set dice have stopped to true, and it'll come back and it'll loop through, and it'll get the next one. And if that one has stopped, it'll still be true. However, if we ever hit a single dice that's false, what we'll do is we will have it set dice has stopped to false, and then we'll break, and then on completed we'll say if dice has stopped is true, then we'll print the text. Let's see if that works. Okay, so far so good. Hey, it works. Sweet. Okay. So now we are truly on really the last step that we need to do, and that is just registering which face is up. So let's go back to our dice box, and so we've got. I need to hold on. Let me pull these guys away from each other because it's getting a little crowded. There we go. Okay, that's better. So when this thing happens, we then set is rolling to false, so it won't come back through here anymore because is rolling will be false, and nothing happens if it's false. So at the end of this, we are going to fire a function, and so what that's going to do, let's go ahead and make our function, right? So we've got a new function. We're going to call this we're just going to say get highest faces. Right. So now we've got a function. So we'll go back to the event graph. We will drag off of this guy. We'll say get can't spell. Get highest faces. Cool. Alright. So now as soon as the dice have stopped, this guy is going to fire off get highest faces. So now we can come in here and we can actually build our function. And so what do I want to do? First, we're going to have to get the dice array, and we're going to do another for each. We don't need a break this time because we want to do this to every dice in the array. Guys, we're so close. So close. I can feel it. Alright. So we're going to take the array element, which is the dice, right? And we are going to get, and if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, normally you can, oh no, context sensitive. There we go. You can get, no, it's not what I wanted either. What am I looking for? What the heck did I name that thing? Sphere array. That's what I want. I want to get the sphere array. So get sphere array. There it is. Cool. So now we've got our array of spheres. And so let's make a new variable, and we'll call it highest z. Cool. We'll change this. It's going to be a float. Alright, and so we are going to now we have to do another for loop because we're going to loop through each of the spheres. So our loop body is immediately going to come here, and for each of these spheres we're going to get the world location, and then we're going to break the vector, and all we care about is this z value right here. So let me go back for a second. For each dice we're going to want to reset the value of highest z, right? So we'll set it to 0 at first. Actually, I don't remember where I set the world, so I know it's not down at -100. So we'll set it at -100. So if excuse me. Yep. Hold on. One more thing. We're also going to need another variable. So we have the highest z, but we're also going to need the highest sphere. And so this is going to be a static mesh component object reference. Sweet. Cool. Alright. So then we come here and we take this z and we say oops, nope, that's not what we want. If this z is greater than highest z value, so if this z is higher than the greatest than the highest z value, if that's true, we are going to set the highest z value to this z value, and we're also going to set the highest sphere to the sphere that we are currently looking at. Cool. Yep, that'll be the loop body. We'll go there. cool. So alright, let me think through this again. We've got the dice array for every dice. For each dice, we're going through, we're getting the sphere array off of each dice, and then for each sphere, we are getting the world location. We're setting the highest z value. Yeah, that should be right. Yep. And when it's completed, we don't need to do anything based on this guy. But when we're completed here, hold on. We need to do one more thing. We need to be able to track. We need to be able to track our the values that we're getting, right? So if we go to game objects, we get the player character. We're gonna add some variables to this, and we'll call this dice1 value. Dice1 value should just be an integer, and dice2 value also will be an integer. So we've got the player character, and now we need this guy to be able to talk to the player character, right? So what we need to do, we need to go back to the event graph, and as soon as this guy begins, we need to set a reference to our player character. My, my memory was bleeding. Always a good sign. So let me add a variable. We will call this player character. It will be what did I name it? Player character BP. Oh, what did I name you? Player character BP. Yep, cool. Boom. All right. So we've got this guy. So on event begin play, we're gonna set him, and the way that we do that is we get the player character. We cast him to player character BP. Let me double check and make sure that's right. Player character. Yep. Okay. So on event begin play, we cast it to our player character, and then we are going to set the player character. Cool. So now we have access to everything that our player character has inside of our Dicebox BP. Do you need to go study? Anyway, nice to check out. Hey man, thanks for dropping in. Take care. Have a good night. So yeah, pretty much that's all we need to do for that. So now we can come back to the function, right? And so we will you know what? We need to do one more thing. We need to make an array of dice values because we're going to need to iterate through this array. So we've got an integer, black, or block. The block symbol is the array. And then, so on event begin play for you, whoops, I don't know why I did that, get, and we'll add, do another add, boom, boom, and get dice1 value, get, add, get, add. Alright, cool. So now also we'll get our player character, and we will get that array that we just made. Alright, so now we have that. So now, and I'll actually move this over some, at the end of every dice, so we do need to do something on completed. We need to, I keep having to add variables. I'll just kind of make a generic iterator, and that'll be an integer. Its default value will be 0. Perfect. We'll go ahead and get him. So that will take care of getting the highest sphere, and when that's completed, when it's done looping through all of the spheres, we need to basically hold on, I think I'm getting ahead of myself. The highest z value. So when that's done, we're going to have to make a branch. So at this point we have the highest z value, and so we need to figure out what or rather we have the highest sphere, and so we need to see which sphere that guy sorry, it's late and my brain is getting jumbled. We need to figure out which sphere is the highest, and then we need to get that sphere and figure out which die face that corresponds to. So I need to go back to my dice real quick, and I'm going to write this down for a second. So we've got sphere, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so this guy is on 1, this guy is on a 2, I believe. Yep, this guy is also on a 2. It should be 3, 3, 4, 3, 3, 4. Yep, okay. 3, 3, 4. Alright, so back to the dice box. So maybe I should use a switch statement for this. Switch on I don't know if I can do that. Can I take this and do like a nope. That's fine. If sphere array. So let me try this. Let me try this. I want to get the index of this guy. So we can do that. Let's add in, oops, that's not right. Variables, we can get a sphere index. Yep, that can be, that's fine. Every time we set the highest sphere, I also want to set the index that that sphere belonged to. So now, when we go, now we can do a switch statement. So we're going to switch on int, and so it will either be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. And so this will come here. We'll get the sphere index again, Boom. Alright, and so if it is sphere 0, we will if it's sphere 0, that means that that face has a value of 1. So we also need a die value. So bring that over, set. So if it's 0, actually we just need to copy this a ton of times. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. We're so close, guys. We're right there. We're right there. Come on, get up there. This is the downside of oh, can you give the spheres a name or value? I'm not sure how you're retrieving the value. I could, and actually what I was gonna do was try to do the name, but it didn't seem to want to let me do a switch statement on the name. So I kind of feel like the switch statement is the best way to go in this case. So to your point, there's a million ways to skin a cat. So yeah, I probably could have done it that way. But I guess this just seemed the easiest at the moment in my mind. So if it's 0, it's gonna be 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4. Sweet. So now we have our die values, and so oops, we are going to get a copy, or no, I'm sorry. We are going to, yep, we're going to get that value of that index, and we are going to set is that what we're doing? Are these die values? I can't remember. Yeah. No. Wait. It's not what I want. Nope. Hold on. I want to. I wonder if I can just straight set array element. Yep. Okay, that's what I want. So we're gonna set the index, and the value of it is going to be the die value. If true, the array will expand if index is greater than the current size of the array. No, it should never be bigger. Alright, cool. And so after, so the spheres are done. After the spheres are done, we are going to increment this guy. Or I'm sorry, nope, I lied. It's not what we're going to do. After the switch is done, we're going to set this guy. So all of these nodes are going to lead here. Cool. So that will happen, and then we need to increment this cat. ++. increment int. Cool. Alright, there we go. Unless I'm forgetting something really dumb, I think this function is done. Increment the iterator, comes back here, sets a new one. This comes down, sets that. Yep, yep, yep. And so when this is completed, I'm going to call one more function, and I'm just going to call it print, or sorry, I have to make the function first. Functions print values. And so here at the end of this, we will call print values. Sweet. And all print values is going to do, it's going to get the player character, and from the player character we are going to get his get dice values, and for each we are simply going to print text that is the value of each one. And you see there it does an automatic conversion from integer to text for me. And I think we are good. Maybe. Let's find out. It's a 1 and a 1. Oh, it printed 1 and 1. Let's go. You need to check out Zachtronics games on Steam. Sometime I think you'd love them. Logic puzzle games. Don't let Unreal fool you. I don't know. I don't know, man. Let's try it. Oh, dang. You created 2 more. 2 and 4. Uh-oh. Oh, wait, hold on. I think it's just keeping those first 2 dice. Maybe. I don't know. Let's test it again. 3 and 2. Yeah, 3 and 2. That's what I'm talking about. Boom. Let's go. Well, there you have it. We have gone from absolutely nothing. We went into Blender, we modeled the dice, we textured that model, we brought it in, we imported everything into Unreal, we set up our dice blueprint, excuse me, we made our dice box blueprint, and there you go. Now we have a dice roller that can track, that can accurately track the values. There it is. So, yeah, I think at this point I'm gonna hop off. Hey, everyone that was in the chat and was hanging out, hey, thanks for hanging out. It was an awesome time. And again, Evan Fall, it's so cool to meet you, man. Someone that actually worked on Mortal Kombat. What? That's ridiculous. Super cool to meet you. Super cool. But yeah, I'll catch you guys later.